I guess it's just us two, Dean. You and I. At least for now.
Where it started, it shall once return.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. We started the show at the same time for, I don't know, 290 weeks by this point.
Yeah.
You think you fucking people would be here. But anyways, I feel like all the stuff I was gonna do the cold open with, it's all moot. But I saw a post today, Dean. It was a NECA. Someone got a NECA exclusive item, right? And the box was destroyed, right? Absolutely destroyed. And they were seeking advice as to whether like anything could be done. And the first thing I have to say is this.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Because it's like watching a car accident, right? Like you can't look away, but you already know like it's not going to be good, right? Like they're not going to get their money back. They're going to get poor customer service likely, right? And it's just going to be a big fucking hassle for them. It was a huge hassle for Marco when he got his Secret of the Ooze turtles in, also a NECA exclusive.
What happened?
Oh, you just said rat. I thought you were gonna rat and tat a little bit.
No, I was listening to you. Like, yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted. I thought we'd just have a chat about it. It keeps happening.
Yeah, it's so simple, especially for the company. It'd be one thing if you got it through BBTS, right? Now they offer, if you pay an extra, I don't know, like $4 for added protection. Collectors. But it'd be one thing if they got it fucked up or you got it from them fucked up. You're like, hey, what the hell? They'd have to be the middleman, right? Or whoever you bought it from, Target or whatever.
Yeah.
But like getting it directly from them, it's so easy for them to just make it right and secure that customer. And they just like refuse to do so. It's the fucking weirdest thing in the world.
Right.
Because this is not... I mean, literally not the first time, but Marco wasn't the first time either. I mean, I've seen
won't
that
be the last.
Countless times on all the toy forums that I'm a member of. NECA has a huge issue with this. It's kind of fucking bizarre, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and it's weird because a lot of these sets that are coming damaged, like they're identical to the retail release. The literal only difference is the packaging, right? So it's like if you're not able to secure the exclusive part, right? Like what's the point? You know what I mean? Let me see. I had a picture of it here. Let me pull it up. Let me email it to myself. I should have been ready. Yeah, and it wasn't even like I think in Marco's case, I think you could make the argument like, well, was it the post office's fault? Was it, like, whose fault was it, right? And in this case, I mean, it's very clearly, like, a NECA thing, right? Because the bubble wrap itself, like, the box was bulging from the inside. It wasn't like it had shifted or become damaged. Like, the corner of the box was destroyed or something. And, yeah, just a little bit upsetting. But, anyways, let's roll the intro and we'll get into it.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Shall we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
Zach, friend.
My friend, that's right. That is right. I was abandoned. Dean, I was abandoned.
What the hell is this I shit?
Oh, I'm sorry. I always say we. I'm usually pretty good about the we. Like a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching, wherever you're watching, catching us live, or on the replay, wherever you're at. I'm sure Marco and Eddie will be here soon. Ben is under the weather, so we knew he wasn't going to be here, but
yeah,
we're just giving them a hard time. But yeah, let's get on with the show.
Yeah, we have a great show planned for you guys tonight. We actually, we don't have a ton of news to talk about, but there is, like, it's just enough, right? Like, it's not like some weeks it's almost like overbearing how much news we have. But Dean, before we get into our news, we have a very special segment that we start off all the best shows with.
That's right, buddy. You ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? My new this week was on unboxing last night. I got the collector's edition Tails. He's very cute.
Wow.
6-inch scale, I believe, or 6 inches
1/6.
tall.
Yeah,
but it's he's like technically 6 scale, because Tails is a very small. He's a small, and it goes really good with my Sonic. Except, like I mentioned last night, Sonic is gloss coat and Tails is like a really beautiful matte coat. But these are really cool. I like them a lot. Their articulation is like almost pointless. Like that's as far as like the elbow will bend. So it's like, yeah, I guess like it's there, but it's not the best. But they're cool. I really like them. And then, what's today? Tuesday? So Sunday or Monday morning, my projector went out. The bulb, it finally gleamed its last beam. And yeah, I woke up and I could still hear my PlayStation because I fell asleep watching YouTube.
No wonder.
And, well, I do that all the time. But I was like, I can still hear my Sony, but my screen is turned off. So I got up and it was just like flashing all these fucking red lights. I was like, God damn it.
Jesus Christ.
So I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and sure enough, it was. I've been using it for 2 years already, and it was. I mean, ever since I started using it, it was like bulb on like.
I remember when you first got it, it was like in need of a replacement bulb, but they're like super expensive.
Yeah, it was like $200 for a bulb, because it was like our old projector, and we stopped using it because the bulb was going to go out, and we just bought something else. And so it was sitting in a box for years, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to use it till it doesn't work anymore. And it lasted fairly long, considering every time I turned it on, it would warn me the bulb was going to go out.
Motherfucker gave you an advance notice.
Yeah, real super advanced notice. So it finally went out, and I went on Amazon and found one on sale. It was normally $120. It was on sale for $50 yesterday, and then today it's up to $75. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, their prices fluctuate.
Yeah, so I bought it yesterday. Thank God, and I got the next day delivery, and it's fucking nice. It's super nice. I mean, it was literally like going from like cart and buggy to a Tesla, because LEDs can be much brighter and more vivid, and this projector, while it was 1080. Was like from like 2007, and the bulb was going out, so it was like kind of dim, and the just as big as I could get it. It was it wasn't a terrible projector, but this I could go much bigger. It's much brighter. I don't have to worry about fucking bulb anymore. So I'm super stoked. So yeah, now my screen is like.
Was it easy? Was it easy to install the projector, like to swap out everything?
Yeah, just a power cable and an HDMI port.
You don't have to worry about the throw distance being different or anything like that.
No, well, I just put it where my old projector was. I did have to angle it differently, but I bought like a tripod specifically for projectors.
Nice.
So I just angled it upward and then zoomed in the lens to make it. So instead of like a 160-inch screen, now I have like a 200-inch screen. It's fucking, it's nice, dude. It's so nice. So I've been in here watching YouTube videos and stuff. So
wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so let me, 1 second. I'm trying to do some back-end stuff and then trying to see if we can't put on a good show for you guys tonight. So, Thomas, check your messages. So last week I talked about ordering these canvas prints from Walgreens. They came out great. I was just going to get the Pikachu one, but as soon as I saw how good it turned out, I immediately went out and got the Eevee one. I learned a little bit from the Pikachu one, so I had stretched out the border at the edges for the Eevee, just so the edges of the canvas wouldn't be white. I'm going to go back in and just paint these edges on the Pikachu blue, but the print quality was excellent, and the Pokemon Center website, which is like their official online retailer, they had put up the promos again today, and so the way that they did them was you had to purchase $30 of trading cards, which is an incredibly smart marketing strategy because there was a bunch of garbage on their page and nothing was $30. It was either 20 or 50. And so they sold a lot of shit today. The promotion was supposed to last from today until Halloween. It was sold out in an hour. So I was able to get one. USB was able to get his. I think Alan Morgan, who's had told me about the sale going live. I didn't even realize it. It was already live for a few minutes when he had sent me the message. But thank you to Alad because USB and I were able to get them and they went quick. There's no word if they're going to restock them, but the museum did announce formally that they're pulling their promotion back. So, if you weren't able to get it today, there's no more option to get it in store or in the museum. So I think they said it was like you mentioned on After Dark or last Tuesday, but it became a safety hazard. They were worried about the art being, because typically people go to a museum, it's very respectful, but the way these people were going in there causing a ruckus just wasn't really good for anybody. So, really happy about this, and I have the card coming, so hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have it in hand, and I'm very excited for that. Let's get into the news, Dean. We have the Akuma by Iconiq Studios. This is Street Fighter V Champion Edition, 1/6 scale figure. This retails for $299 officially on the Iconiq website, releasing Q3 to Q4 2024. Looking at the figure, I know that we had pulled up, I want to say it was possibly on After Dark or maybe 3 weeks ago, we had pulled up some different size comparisons from Street Fighter V. I know, Dean, you had some comparisons from other Street Fighter games, and Street Fighter isn't very consistent with their scaling. Some games, the characters are larger in relation to others. Some games, they're a little closer in scale to each other. And so it's very important for this figure to remember that this is the Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition version of the figure. Now, we did have a really great comment last episode from Mr. Mojo1112. Akuma is officially listed 5'10" compared to Ryu and Ken at 5'9" in Street Fighter V, which is the game these figures are from. Blanca, which we also talked about last week, is listed at 6'4". Now, I was curious for myself and wanted to take some images, some screenshots from the game of Street Fighter V Championship Edition and line them up, and that 5'9", 5'10" definitely holds true, though I would say perhaps Akuma is certainly wider than Ryu, and of course Ken being the same body size. So interesting to see if they are going to, from the photos here, this doesn't look particularly that broad, but it'll be very interesting to see if that changes. It does have the black light eyes and back, and the power effects also do react to a black light. Now, Dean, this is, I believe, their third figure formally announced in the Street Fighter V license. We always say with ensemble games, ensemble casts, as much as possible. I mean, Street Fighter has a huge roster, so I don't think anyone's expecting them to make every character, but we're 3 in, and I think they've got 3 pretty good figures in front of them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a solid figure. I just always, remember Akuma being kind of this looming kind of dread of a character having to fight. Also, in Street Fighter V, he's got that big beard and sideburns, so I don't like it. I don't know why this head sculpt doesn't have at least like one option for that. If that, I mean, see that? On the screenshots,
and I don't play the game, so I don't know if that means that there's different skins or like different variations. I have zero experience, so your mileage may vary as to what you understand of this game.
Yeah,
but
if you're an expert, let us know. But yeah, even like the rope belt isn't here. So it's like, what Akuma is this actually based off of? If it's just like an alternate outfit in the game, like why do the alternate outfit first? It's really confusing. Again, I'm not a Street Fighter expert, but the positive thing is this does look like a super good figure.
There you go. Badfish, what are we thinking about this?
I think it's makes sense they were basically using this body again. It's probably could be a little taller as you guys are as from what I'm seeing with the height differences. We'll see when people get it in hand, but otherwise it's cool looking. I thought I saw a sculptor with like really white skin or something, but maybe it was like a custom, but I don't remember where I saw it. But yeah, if I was big on Street Fighter, I'd be worried because like you said, there's a lot of characters.
There we go. Eddie Money Mendez, welcome to the panel. Thomas, Classy Thomas, first CW show, welcome as well. Eddie, Akuma Street Fighter V Champion Edition. Again, this is coming in at $299 Q3 to Q4 2024. What do you think about the price? What do you think about the figure?
It's $299. How much was Ryu?
Let me get that for you. I had on my to-do list to grab that price. Let me find it for you.
It's cool. I'm not a super big Street Fighter fan. I was never really into like a lot of. I played Marvel versus Capcom when I was a kid. That was about the only like
$289
fighting. Oh wow, I don't know why I thought they were cheaper than that. But that was the only real fighting game I played was Marvel versus Capcom, and I know it was Street Fighter on there, but like the only Akuma that I remember was the like when he had that lion hair, when he had the mane all the way around, like that's the Akuma I remember. I don't remember what Street Fighter that was from though.
That was from this one.
That was this one?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's the one I remember. So I was like, doesn't he have like a sculpt where his hair's all down? I was surprised they didn't throw that in there. But it looks really cool. Figure looks good. I know that everybody seems to like this line a lot, so it looks good. I don't know if they're doing all of the characters where they can utilize that body first, so that's why they started with Akuma and Ken and Ryu, so they kind of don't have to put that much R&D back into creating a new body, but looks good.
There we go. Thomas, again, welcome. Akuma, what do we think about it?
I'm kind of digging it. I don't know. I don't really play a lot of video games because my hand-eye coordination isn't the greatest, but I'm familiar with Street Fighter from when I was a kid, and I'm really liking this. I had the was it Ryu or Ryu?
I always say Ryu.
Ryu.
I
have that one. Yeah, I have him, and I have Ken ordered from Sideshow on that payment plan, so it's just about paid off. So I'm assuming that they're going to release it, fairly soon. And I'm kind of liking this one. I wasn't aware. Well, I think I was getting Akuma mixed up with the green guy. That's the one I think that's his name. I really liked him, and I liked the guy with the big flat top. I think his name is Guile, I think.
Yeah.
And so those are two that I was kind of excited for, but I like the way this one looks. I mean, it's pretty nice looking, and I like the face sculpts and the eyes, are they again those UV lights that you have to use the light on it, or do they actually light up?
So these are the UV effects. So you'll have
Okay,
to get a
UV
little
effects.
torch on them. Yeah, I believe the
Okay.
effects, they don't mention specifically. They just call them vividly detailed power effects. But I think it's very much implied that if you had a black light, that they would glow a little bit.
Okay, but
The
yeah, I
effects
mean
look
it's
good, yeah.
yeah,
I
they
was
really
gonna say.
do, and yeah, but I'm kind of digging this. Since I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to add him because those figures are huge. I mean, they really are. I mean, these bodies that they made are really really big, and they take up a lot of space. And I kind of like the Ryu and Ken fighting combination. So, and I'm still holding out for Guile and the green guy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get Akuma or not, but I don't know. It's a possibility. That one's a
There we go.
possibility. I kind of like it.
Now's as good a time as ever. Let's address the chat. We got Toy Mafia, Vintage Rebellion podcast, Sam Gist. Need that sweet release of CW get through the week. Happy show day, boys. Badfish, Sith Scale Collector. Ooh, that almost got me there. Tukatri, Yomo. Let's see here. We have Badfish, Ben Thomas. Ben, like Dean mentioned, Ben's under the weather, so wish him well. Big Ol' Fern, Alvin J. Let's see here. Absolute Irwin, Jason Nelson, Thomas in the chat and on the panel. DJ, Absolute Irwin, Yomo, Equan. It's not a Marvel Legends zombie Iron Man though, Dean. That is true. Let's see here. Calvin, what's up, Calvin? Good to see you, bud. Thor Gaming. Evening Gents got worried for the show. Come back out for a few weeks. Only see Dean and Zach. Yeah, can you imagine? And Thor also says, waiting for the golden ticket on OxCon 24. Looked like you guys had fun. It was very fun. Let's see here. We have Hot Toys Hera Syndulla. This is 270, releasing October to March 2025. Got the picture of her with Chopper.
October to March?
I'm sorry, October 2024 to March 2025. Got her posted up. Yeah, I think last week, Dean, was the first time that we saw that 25 time frame. So
that's a huge time frame.
Yeah, we're getting there. Love to see the photos with Chopper. Obviously, those two characters very relevant and certainly a shelf display there. I think this figure looks good. There was some people saying this was the greatest 6-scale figure they'd ever seen, and I feel like that's hyperbole. I think it's certainly good, but I don't know that it's anywhere near the likes of, some of the best that we've seen. Biggest concern for me is the amount of pleather on this figure. This is a figure that is going to be an absolute nightmare to keep and to keep well. I speak from experience. The Metacom Rocketeer, I have to basically drench that thing in leather sealant twice a year and never touch it because it will literally fall apart. So I think that's certainly something that you want to keep in mind. I do appreciate the detailed embroidery that they have. And a lot of people, of course, Buttgate, a little disappointed with the rear end here. Especially on the show, she was pretty caked up and not so much on the Hot Toys. So I certainly think that there's some improvements that can be made there. It's a topic.
Can you enhance, please?
I wish. It's a topic that's that has sparked a lot of controversy in some of the groups. Some people think it doesn't matter. Some people think that it does matter. Some people think that, I think there's both sides of the coin, or of the ass, or of the figure, I guess, are very important. But
you know what I just noticed?
What's that?
The patch. They're on the opposite shoulders.
It could
that
be
image maybe flipped because her
maybe
holster is
flipped.
also...
I was gonna say that's my only. It could be flipped from.
Yeah. I almost gave you a point there, Badfish. I almost fucking gave you a point.
I think it's still.
Dean, 270. What are we thinking?
Yeah, 270 is pretty good. Doesn't come with a whole lot, but she also doesn't interact with a whole bunch of objects in the show. Yeah. But 270 is pretty good. I don't think it looks like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the actress. Maybe 40%. I might be able to see it. But I said the same thing about Ahsoka, which a lot of people heavily disagreed with me on. I don't need my Rebels characters to look like the actors because they started off in 3D. So like I don't really mind it if Ahsoka doesn't look like Rosario 100% or Hera doesn't look like Mary Elizabeth 100%. To me, it's not a huge deal, but that is what you're paying for, so I understand people's argument. But Mary Elizabeth Winstead's a very beautiful woman. I'm not seeing it in the sculpt. But it's not like, again, it's not horrible. It's just not the best likeness I've seen from Hot Toys, but I like it. I will own this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Dean. The sculpt is to me very good, but it's not, doesn't look like the actress. Something with the eye line, the eyebrow line, and maybe the way her eyes are shaped. Hers are like more, they seem too small maybe, but I still like the sculpt.
That's true. She has big eyes.
Yeah, I really like this sculpt though. And the figure altogether. I think it's hilarious that one of the feature shots, I know they're saying it's for the blaster, but her butt is one of the feature shots. But
yeah,
as you said, the pleather though, like this belt especially, and then I don't know if anyone mentioned it. I meant to mention it when I was on the time we were talking about Sabine. It's like that crisscross belt, and it's a similar like thin pleather. And I was gonna say that's also kind of a similar situation where I'd be a little worried about it, but if you're saying you can douse it in the gooch grease and it helps, that's good. I know Equan has a specific one that he always recommends. I think it's a Honda, one of those like car ones that's for like seat leather, for like car seats. But otherwise, yeah, I think this, along with Sabine and Chopper, I think these three, even just these three on the shelf, would be awesome. And I think eventually I'd like to grab them. So.
I love that we are seeing Rebels Hot Toys now. That's awesome. I think it looks really good. When I first saw it, it's one of those Hot Toys where it looks really good, and then like when you zoom in, you could see stuff that you don't like that much. Like, see, like, I think it looks really good, but also when you zoom in, it has that like blank Hot Toy look, which might throw off the likeness a little bit. Also, I feel like her makeup could be a little darker. Like her eyebrow lines could be darker. Maybe the lipstick and the shading, the eyeshadow around her eyes. Like, I feel like they could brighten that up a bit, and it'll look a little less, like, she kind of looks tired. Like, you can see the bags under her eyes. I don't know. I feel like that's what throws it off for me a little bit, but I still think it's really, really good. I really like it. The butt thing is funny. When I saw it originally, I thought the thighs were really thick. So I think they did better than I thought, because people were like, "Oh, it better have a butt," and I was like, "It's a Hot Toy. It's not gonna have a butt like they have that toy butt, you know." So, but the thighs, they made the thighs look really good, and it looks like a real butt, at least. Like, instead of a toy one, it looks better than most Hot Toys butts. So I think it's decent. I don't really care. I just think it's funny that it's such a big topic because of her in the show. Now we got to go back and look at Sabine's Hot Toy, because towards the end of Ahsoka, we had Sabine's butt, and everyone was like, "God damn!" So now we gotta go back and look at that Hot Toys butt. But I love it a lot.
Thighs, though.
Yeah, the thighs were thick for sure.
Eddie's a thigh man, bro.
Yeah, I like big thighs. So the pleather sucks. It's always gonna suck. You know, we're never gonna know if they can change that up, because they did that Logan, but that Logan still isn't out yet. And I'm thinking that something to do with that Logan, they either can't figure out how to get it done right in real leather or something, and that's what's holding it up. So I feel like that's why they're not doing real leather with anything else. But I don't know, we'll see, because that's one of my main nitpicks with Hot Toys is the degrading over time. So this, we'll have to wait and see, but it's still really cool. I like it a lot. I'm tempted to get all of them. I don't have any of them on pre-order yet, but I really want them. And I think once Ahsoka the White goes up for pre-order, that's going to kind of seal it for me. But also, I didn't love Ezra's look in the show, so I don't even know if I'd want that Hot Toy, to be honest. So that would suck. But
yeah,
if we're just talking about this is really cool. So
now, Mr. Musashi says it's crazy the number of people that flame Zach for the Gandalf pants in relation to this figure's butt. Sculpt is close, but they didn't get Mary Elizabeth Winstead enough. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, I hate that excuse. Like, oh, it's facing the back of the cabinet. It doesn't need to be accurate. But it's like, the people that are saying that are the people that are also super anal about the characters they collect. And I know Nick from Nick's Collectibles, he's been very adamant about the new black suit Spider-Man that Hot Toys is making. And he called it. He's like, everyone's shitting on me for wanting this to be accurate. And he's like, but the second Hera gets announced, everyone's going to complain the butt isn't big enough. And sure enough, everyone complained. I mean, a lot of people complained. So, Thomas, what do we think about Hera Syndulla?
I don't like it at all. I love
Get this man out of here. Oh, okay, no.
Well, he had us in the first half.
Yeah. No, I see enough of Mary Elizabeth Winstead in there. I know who I'm looking at. And they can tighten it up a little bit, but I know exactly who I'm looking at. And I don't really collect a lot of the Star Wars characters to commit to a one-off like that in my cabinet, but I think she looks great. And and I might change up because any excuse to get a lady with green or blue skin that's a good day, because there's nothing like a blue skin or a green skin lady on your shelf to make the day go right. So and Hot Toys could be a little bit more generous in the glutational area, of course. I mean, you can never have enough ass. You always got to have a little bit more. So.
Thomas is getting C-3PO flashbacks now, because he was very concerned about our boys' butt. So
that's right. I mean, sometimes they're so flat you wonder how they sit down. I mean, come on. But yeah, I think this is a really nice looking figure, and it kind of makes me wonder though if they're going to if they're having so much trouble with using leather, there are other they could possibly maybe instead of using leather, why not use a let's see, what do you call that? The PU leather. Maybe use a thin grain of PU leather, the polyurethane, and you may get a slightly better results. The only problem you might have is that it doesn't have the fabric backing to it. But but other than that, I mean, I think this is a winner. This is a really good figure.
There we go, Marco G. Welcome to the panel. Let's throw you straight to the Wolves. Hera, 270 October 2024 to March 2025. Some people on the side of Buttgate, some people on the side of it doesn't matter, you can stuff it yourself. People are saying they may body swap, which I feel like there's not just a lot of green Fisons lying around, and people don't realize how difficult it is to get paint to stick and look good on a Fison.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. So Marco, what are we thinking here?
It's funny that you said wolves because this character's got me feeling like a dog. This is not good enough for sure. It's got to be fatter. I'm sorry if I sound perverted for saying that, but it's just screen accuracy, and that's what we're always on Hot Toys for. And this one just is falling short of the mark for me. But overall, I think it's decently priced. Everything else is really good. The sculpt is really nice, but genuine leather and a bigger bum is kind of what we need. But I doubt Hot Toys is gonna give us that. But if they're giving the people what they want, then that's what we want.
There we go. We talked about this last week, but our new segment, Get It or Not. Let's see here. We have a poll that we'll put up. Going down the list, Get It or Not. I'm not going to be getting this.
Who is this supposed to be, by the way? Who is the character?
It's just a Mexican, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like,
non-specific.
We had one that looked
Hispanic
more
male.
like you, but we decided not.
I
to
saw
use
the
it.
one that looked like me, and that one of them looked like Riley Reviews. I was like,
This kind of looks like all of us, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
including-
exactly.
mix
It's a
everything?
generic Latin fellow. At any rate, Get It or Not, I am not going to be getting this. I think it looks good. I just have zero interest in collecting this character or the rest of the Rebels crew. Dean, Get It or Not?
Get it.
Oh, okay, get it, Marco.
Get it, I think.
There we go. Just go down the line, boys.
Got to get it.
wow. It's definitely a get it eventually.
There we go. Thomas.
I'm gonna be a not.
There we go. We'll keep this poll going for a few minutes. Right now we're at 30%. 30%. It's going back and forth. 40% get it, 60% not. We'll let that run for a bit.
Wow.
Jazzinc Dioramas posted a video on their Facebook group in regards to the Jedi Starfighter. Now, I'm not super familiar with the way that they do their pre-orders, but I guess typically they run like a live stream, and Yost will kind of sit there for the first hour while people pre-order. Gets him to have a nice barometer as to the general interest from the community. People can also ask questions in real time, which I think is a really nice strategy. He had done a poll initially where it was like a vote of which vehicle you want, and then when the Starfighter won, he had done a second poll as to which color would you want, and again there was 4 choices, and the qualifier that he does with these polls as they get more serious, it's like only vote if you'd actually buy it, right? You know, if these polls don't even have people committing just by clicking a button, they're certainly not going to have people that commit to the pre-order when it's due. Now, when this went live, Yost had said in real time there was less than a third of what he had expected for pre-orders on that day. Right? I think it was Friday. And to this point, he said it's still about 2/3. And he had mentioned in this video that, you know, one, this is like, it's almost like a HasLab type product, right? Like it needs to hit a minimum number to get green lit, right? And of course you're paying an NRD. If it doesn't go through, he'll refund you that money if it gets canceled. But there were a lot of concerns from collectors that we've seen. We've heard in Messenger, we've heard on his Facebook group. The biggest one I think is that Yost is unable to make the dome for the R2 unit, right? Or the R4 unit for the Kenobi version. And I had sent him some messages, and I don't know if this is going to work out, but he seems interested enough to begin putting it out there for some people to assist. But again, based on some of these comments about this R2 unit, people don't want to spend $300 on the Tamashii Nations R2. People don't want to spend $300 on the Hot Toys R2, basically just to pull the dome off, right? Because you're not putting the whole R2 in the socket. It's really just the dome. And so, Dean, you'll probably recall this as one of our earliest videos. The Hasbro Hero Series R2 is very close in scale to the Hot Toys. It's just a little bit smaller. But when you paint the dome chrome using like an Alclad type chrome paint, it looks fantastic. And these can be had as cheap as $5 to about $20. And so it's certainly a good option, right? If you don't want to spend $200 for a Hot Toys R2 or $300 for the Tamashii Nations one. And so according to some people, and we're putting a call to the community as well, but if you live near an Ollie's and you have seen these, there's some reports that Ollie's still has these in stock. They either come in a black and red box from The Force Awakens or a white and like gray yellow box from The Last Jedi. Let us know, because I think Yost is trying to possibly buy a big quantity of these as a potential way to make this project happen, because a lot of people is a big hang up for them. So just wanted to put that out there. Yost mentioned that we had talked to him about some things and wanted to share that on our stream. But it's going to be interesting to see if it does happen. Of course, it's still up in the air. But again, if you have one of these that you don't need, or if you even just happen to live near an Ollie's and can stop by for us I'm sure Yost would appreciate it. So
Hey Zach, if they're just using the dome, couldn't they just scan the dome and 3D print it?
so that's kind of what he wants to avoid, right?
Oh,
His reasoning is like, you know, he doesn't want to make an R2 because that is a licensed character. It's one of their most popular characters, and so it's a very gray area. But he's thinking that if he can buy enough of these licensed R2s and then paint the domes, that will be okay. But to produce, you know, even if he just had one to cast it and to produce it, it would kind of be really shaky. I think
Just
he doesn't.
call
He's
the
not
figure
particularly
Arturito, and he's fine.
Yeah, there you go, little Arthur. And yeah, so we'll see if that ends up happening. But yeah, I remember when this figure came out, I made 3 of them. I kept one, I gave one to Manny, one to Eric, and these look really solid when you paint them up. I think this could certainly be a winning option for.
Is this your work on the left?
Yeah.
Did you put some color in the recesses too? Like
Yeah, I did a black wash, yeah.
Looks
or like
great,
a Gundam marker, yeah. Actually, we have the full video on our YouTube. In fact, let me pull that up real quick. If you guys want to check this out after the fact, I'll link it. But let's pull up the video here. We'll just take a trip down memory lane. This is from 5 years ago, October 15th. Actually,
Wait,
almost exactly
go back
5
there
years ago.
to that picture.
Fuck, Jay. Jesus Christ. Yes.
What's that mark there on the
on the
measuring
3?
tape? Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you steal my own joke? You fucking
Wow. That's
an
fucking hilarious.
old joke. That is an old joke that I yeah, so the process basically is you get a R2, you painstakingly, it's fucking pain in the ass, but you tape off all the blue and then you use a paint called Alclad. It's a like a model train type paint, but you spray it gloss black, and then once it's black, you spray it with this chrome, and it looks really solid when it's done. And once you do all that, you can give it a little bit of weathering, and it ends up being pretty good. And I want to say we have a video on the channel of it with the it is a little bit smaller than the Sideshow one, but I think it's pretty close in scale to the Hot Toys, or maybe it's just a little bit smaller than the Hot Toys, but this is sort of what you will get here. And again, remember, the one on the right is, you know, many hundreds of dollars. One on the left is much cheaper. So just an idea for Jazzinc to possibly get this project off the ground. But let's go back to our slides here, and we'll talk about this. Sideshow put up a look at their Cad Bane prototype.
Ew.
And in the background, eagle-eyed fans noticed the back of Hondo's from Clone Wars and Rebels hat, and then the Darth Maul with the spider legs. So obviously these kinds of photos don't they don't put things in these photos unless they intend for us to see them.
Darth Maul isn't their statue?
I'm not sure. Again, the way that they put these things out, right? It's kind of like, could it be a statue? Could it be a figure? I think the general thought is that this is a figure, but it definitely could be Eddie. Definitely.
Well, on the left, it actually looks like a figure. But the one in the background kind of
could
looks
be a
like the
statue.
statue they did.
In Sideshow's Phantom Menace, Darth Maul is kind of was received pretty positively, right? Some think it's better than the Hot Toys version.
I would say it is, to be honest. I've owned it. I think it's a fucking awesome
Well,
figure.
the head sculpt is way better, I think.
Oh, it's really solid.
Please don't be General Grievous style joints on those.
Oh gosh,
legs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irwin says, let's see here. Did you apply that technique to your printed N1? No, the N1 was a different chrome. In fact, I think in the R2 video I show what that chrome looks like compared to the Alclad, and it's much worse. The Alclad, because it has that gloss black underneath, it has a lot of depth to the chrome that you can't get from a single color spray paint. Fern still has his R2D2, and Jordan Skinner says, I completely agree. Why would it be okay if purchase R2D2 figures that another company produced and then the company has license for? How is it still not a gray area for him to include it with the Starfighter? I'm having trouble understanding the logic. Both would seem very gray areas, and buying R2D2s produced by another company seems more of a gray area to me. I don't know. I think that's just, it's been the number one, I think, concern, and the reason people thought initially that it would come with the R2 head and I think Yost is trying to look at some options.
Yeah, it'd be like him buying it, painting it, and then reselling it.
Yeah, and even another, third company could do that as well, right? Like, there's all kinds of. I'm not doing it, so don't ask me. But there's all kinds of people that are willing to take on those kind of paint projects. So
he's already
company,
making the
Jazz.
fighter.
Yeah, and like Dean knows, right? I got to buy primer. It's a whole process. So don't bother.
Yeah,
me
for
that.
its active buy primer, it takes about a month.
Okay, I'll see how it is. So let's see here. The So-So Toys, the Dead Killer. This is 195, released in Q2 2024. Dean, what do we think about this?
I feel like we've seen this guy before. Wasn't this the one that
it was a different company?
Jason Nelson had? Oh, I guess.
Yeah,
there's another third party that came out.
Because the one Jason Nelson had was badass. This looks very similar. I mean, it's the same character, right? So it's not going to really differ too much. But yeah, it looks cool. I don't know anything about Slade Wilson, so I'm not like this doesn't really do anything for me. But objectively, it looks cool.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. I was so hyped when I saw, kind of the Legion of Doom at the end of Justice League. I get no one liked Justice League. I did actually just enjoy it. It is a stupid movie, but so I was bummed that we never kind of got to see that come to fruition in the Batman movie with Ben Affleck. So I'm very interested in this. It seems like they've beefed up the proportions since we maybe saw a first teaser of it, because it seems to resemble a bit more of, what was the other company that did a Deathstroke recently?
If it's the one Dean's talking about, that was 5 years ago. That was years ago.
No,
I remember
semi-recently.
Yeah, there was
that was the other day.
They did a
you fucking guy.
They did the Nightmare version too. The one that came out a little while ago, and I feel like it was a bigger company too, like a bigger third party company.
Flashpoint Studio.
Maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what?
Because they did the Nightmare Flash, right?
Flashpoint.
Yeah.
There we go. Quickly, just checking back in on the poll. We'll go into end this. Get it, 47%, not 53. A pretty split get it or not there by Hot Toys Hera. Badfish, the Dead Killer. Jeez.
Is this supposed to be from the movie? 'Cause this looks like the game one, a lot like.
Well, Joe Manganiello was at the end
movie.
of Justice League, right?
Okay, it's very similar like style to the video game, but the one that Hot Toys did. But I guess it's just I haven't seen the movie version. But yeah, this is kind of cool. I was really tempted by the Hot Toys one, but because the video games are so cool. But So I think can do some armored stuff pretty well, and looks like they're pulling it off here. So if I had the Arkham Batman, any of those video game ones, I'd be really tempted by this, just to mash it in there, even though it's technically the movie one.
Yeah,
She's mashing it.
I'm probably gonna get this.
That's good.
I don't. Okay, it wasn't that funny, but at the end of Batman versus Superman.
Get him out of here.
At the end of Batman versus Superman, you see him in the armor and everything, and I love the actor. I love that they picked him, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see like anything other than that. I mean, we saw him in
BVS
scene.
too.
This is the end of BVS. This is.
Oh, I thought it was the end of Justice League.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the end of BVS because Lex Luthor is not in Justice League, right? So.
Wait, when does this happen at the end of BVS?
It's the end credits. After the end credits, he goes and sees. It's after he gets out of prison, I think, or he escapes or something. I don't know. But
because the end credits, doesn't he visit Lex Luthor in prison? Right.
Yeah, and then he gets out and he's on the boat. I'm pretty sure it's BVS.
So Eddie, it's from Justice League. I just looked it up, but
okay,
we're talking about the same scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's my bad then. I'm sorry, Marco.
When does he show up in Justice League? Are you talking about the Zack Snyder cut or the
post credit? The original.
In both of them, I think.
Schneider.
Yeah, I always get shit for that one.
Anyways, you see them starting to start up the Legion of Doom, and it's Lex Luthor and what's his actual name? Dead Killer? That's not his name, but Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
So I just because I want to see what the character is, like I'd like to have him on a shelf with Batman, especially if we're gonna get Batman from Inart. Like I think it would go well with him, and I don't see Hot Toys doing this or Inart especially doing something that never happened. So I think it'll just be cool to round out that DC movie shelf. So I'm probably gonna get it.
Damn, this looks fucking. I just watched that scene that you're talking about, Eddie and Marco. This shit looks fucking good.
I was so sad that never came to fruition. I even liked Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. He's just like a Mark Zuckerberg.
I did too, man.
Guy.
Yeah, he's weird and like
Jeff Bezos.
There you
I've
go.
definitely never seen this, but okay.
Yeah, it's
it
cool.
definitely looks like very
because you
good
had to
for
sit
the
around.
rendition.
You had to sit around after the credits to see it. So
And
a
everyone
lot
was
of people
pissed and
don't
left.
wait. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie, so.
What?
Here we go. Let's just fast
Was this
forward it.
this is the one that they remade into the quote unquote better version now, right?
This is the Josh Whedon cut. Yeah.
It's in both of them,
Okay.
though, no? Because it's an end credit scene, so I'm pretty sure it's in both of them.
I think that they went with Nightmare instead, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
I think they
you
extended
might
the
be
nightmare
right.
sequence, right?
You might
It
be
looks
way off.
It looks really good though. Like,
Bro,
the
this looks
movie,
fucking right off the screen.
Yeah, they did a really great job.
I thought
This-
the portrait looked kind of silly, but I didn't realize that it's just what he looks like.
And back up into the sky.
I don't know what it is about this actor, but I just can't with him.
Better not be wasting my time.
No, I have too much to live for, and more important things to do. We have to level the playing field.
Damn,
Mr.
that
Watson.
looks pretty fucking good,
To put it
honestly.
plainly,
Dude,
The
they
eye
were
patch is
supposed
cool.
to do.
shouldn't we have?
So that Batman film that was gonna come out with Ben Affleck, he was supposed to be the main villain,
Yeah. That would be
and
incredible.
it never happened. So
Zach,
would've been
that's the
sick.
D&D guy.
Yeah, the Hand
the
of
thing-
Vecna guy. Yeah. Yep. What's his name? Archon? The Defiler, I think it is? Do you know? Yeah. Wow, what a nice figure. Thomas, what do you think about this?
You know, it's a good figure, and I would probably consider getting that. I don't think that I'm going to be placing any pre-orders of So anytime soon because I still haven't gotten my that dude from the boys, the
Homelander.
Homelander, yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't got my Homelander, and I'm still waiting for figures that I pre-ordered to be released. So until So gets a little bit more caught up, I don't think I'm
like
going to
that.
be. I don't think
the way
I'm
you
going to be
said that.
getting any more. But I mean, I'm not going to be pre-ordering anymore. But that's a great looking figure. Interesting fact, which I don't know, you all probably know this, that this character actually was when Marvel came up with Deadpool, it was meant as a joke to kind of play off of DC's version of this character right here. Hence the name Wade Wilson instead of Slade, and they kind of did a lot of stuff that kind of mimicked him a lot. But of course, Deadpool kind of took off. But this is a very solid figure, and it does look like it stepped right off that scene. So they did a fine job with this.
I always kind of forget who was based off who, because I've heard that before, and I can never remember if it's Deadpool is based off of him or if he's based off of Deadpool. So
Yeah, Deadpool came after him. I think, because DC and Marvel are constantly copying each other's characters and making a slightly. Oh, they got divorced.
Wow, what the hell?
Oh, that's
dude, I heard
crazy.
that she's a bitch in real life, so
wow.
I'm guessing that it wasn't.
You don't look like that without being a bitch.
It's
Wow.
true. I could fix her.
I didn't like the way that she talked about his D&D evenings, so I'm with my man Archon the Cruel.
I was gonna say too, if you guys want to get it, the price that I put on the show sheet was from TNS because at the time that was the only thing that had this up. But it's on KG Hobby now, and it's significantly cheaper. I think it's like $40 cheaper. It's like $150.
Is it shipped
So-
though at that price?
No.
Yeah, KG is. I believe they're free shipping, like
Are
$160.
they?
But I could be wrong.
Really? Okay.
I think the last couple times I got free shipping from them. So
Do your homework.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Do your homework exactly.
Wow. Well, there's
I'm
that. We
checking right
have.
now.
Thank you. Present Toys Anton. This is 163, released in Q1 2024. No Country for Old Men. I haven't seen this movie. I really want to, though. But I have seen like probably the whole film through various clips on TikTok. I'm almost certain. But the portraits look good. I again, I haven't seen the movie, but from what I have seen in clips, I kind of dig this.
What's this actor's name? Do you know?
Let's see here.
Javier Bardem.
This dude. You guys ever watch Ned's Declassified?
Oh my god.
This dude looks like Coconut all grown up. Do you remember that kid with the bowl haircut? That's what this fool looks like.
I've seen that coin flip scene on TikTok a lot, but 163 Present Toys makes pretty good stuff. Though I think their pre-order list is growing quite long, but
on KG Hobby, only certain items are free shipping. I guess whenever they deem it necessary.
Thanks for
One
checking.
Six Shooter says the whole figure is a rip-off recast. Yep, that's how it goes. You gotta copy someone who's perhaps also making it illegally. But
I was about to say, well, who did the original sculpt? If it's somebody who's also doing it illegally, fuck, like, who cares?
It was like a custom, I believe, is what I heard. Yeah, a custom that was recast. It's
From
weird. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you're good.
I was just gonna say the sculpt on the right is like so good, but the one on the left is really, I don't know, just not. The eyes are off it maybe a little bit, but it's still pretty good for what we're seeing. But the one on the right is just really spot on.
Yeah,
the smiling one. It's like they really captured his eyes and stuff.
Yeah, Present Toys from One Six Shooter. They're the new Red Man stealing other artists' work. Ben says he did not enjoy the film. Everyone said it was an amazing film. I just couldn't get into it. Please don't make it a blockbuster.
Yeah, I tried to watch this movie and I was like, what the fuck is this? This guy is so not intimidating with this weird fucking haircut. I like Javier Bardem. I think he's a great actor, but like I did not like this movie. But like Ben said, people fucking love it, so it makes sense that there's someone out there who would want this.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's a recast that really takes me out of it. If it was like brand new work, it's like, okay, this is an incredible sculpt, but the fact that it's just a copy of an unlicensed, it just really kills the vibe. But I do like No Country for Old Men, and I'm gonna make it a movie night one of these days just for Ben and Dean. But yeah, so that reason alone, I'm over this figure.
Yeah, this is a good movie. I can see why people don't like it though. It's got some weird stuff, kind of a bit of weird pacing, I guess you could say. But I definitely don't need the rendition of this, but yeah, cool sculpt, but yeah, a little sad that it was, even if that is the case, it's a little sad that they just jacked someone's work, but yeah.
I have never seen this movie, so this figure does nothing for me.
Just give a thought on the figure itself.
The smiling, I agree with Badfish.
Thank you.
The smiling head sculpt looks really good, and the other one looks weird. It almost looks like it wasn't finished, the one on the left. Like that looks like
it looks like a render.
A render. So that's interesting. But this guy's hair really bothers me.
That's the point. It's
it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, in the whole movie, it's so weird, like unsettling that he's following him around. Just it's a good movie. I think you'd actually like it, Eddie.
Oh, maybe I should check it out then.
Yeah, Eddie, I was going to say the same thing. That he really does need another haircut. That's really awful.
There you go. We also have the narrator. This is Fight Club?
Oh, yeah. It looks like it.
It's been a long time since I've seen Fight Club. This one's also 163.
Daredevil.
It's his
also,
Tyler.
That's exactly who I thought it was at first. I was like, they didn't even give him the stick. Anyways, same price, same release as the Anton. The portrait looks very weak to me. I think when, again, that could be a render, but when you see this portrait here compared to this, which obviously is likely because this might be a recast of something else, so it might be less quality. I don't know, but it just doesn't look particularly good to me. Especially releasing this on its own, I don't know. I guess this is not for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Fight Club just as much as the next guy. This is a very weak portrait. This is in the teens in percentages of likeness.
Teens. That seems a little drastic.
Yeah, like 18, 19%.
Wow.
Like it's
You could tell who he is. You could see the likeness there. I get it's not strong, but it's there.
yeah, agree to disagree. I think this is horrible. Also, like, if I was gonna get one figure from this movie, it'd be fucking Brad Pitt, not Edward
Tyler.
Norton.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just this is a big miss.
So I'm admittedly a third party casual, but I don't recall the last time we talked about a Present Toys release. Perhaps it happened recently, but not one that I can recall. But they keep announcing stuff, and to Zach, to your point, I get concerned that these companies put out so many pre-orders, and I'm not really seeing a lot of releases. That makes me really extra anxious in this environment where there's so many companies, where the competition's becoming more and more stiff. So just something to watch, I guess. But I do appreciate that they are tackling films that, you know, most mainstream companies would not. So that's intriguing. Yeah, the likeness is pretty rough. I see it there, though. I don't think it's in the teens. I would say it's much higher than that, but that's just me. But you're spot on, Dean. Brad Pitt would have been a cool 2-pack. Obviously, spoilers. There's a symbiotic relationship there. I won't say any more, but yeah. So overall, I just Present Toys. Every time I see their logo now, or Mars Toys, I'm like, are they actually going to produce this? Is this actually going to come out in the next 5 years? I just am very skeptical right now.
Yeah, they do release stuff. It has been... I'm looking at Joan's YouTube channel, and at least as far as his reviews go, it's been a while. You know, take that as you will. But, I mean, their Indiana Jones, I think, was really good. I think it was good enough that people were clamoring and got a second batch. Yeah, they've made some good... I mean, I own, I think, 2 or 3 of their figures. I enjoy them. You know, it is what it is. What do you think, Badfish?
I think this is pretty cool, actually. I like this movie a lot, but I won't be grabbing it because I just don't need that on my shelf as a representation. But I actually like the sculpt as well. I'm with Marco. I think it's not as bad. It's not obviously right on or anything, but I think it's at least, I don't know, 70%, 75% there. I think the nose is pretty good. The eyes aren't bad. And I really like that if you go back to, I think, the first pic, you can see it says Tyler on the cigarettes. I like that. But and the suit looks good, but I was tempted by this for about 30 seconds, and I was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Holy fuck.
Sorry. Sometimes I need to watch movies twice in order to like them. I only saw this once, and I saw it a couple years ago, and I thought it was overrated. I didn't like it at all. So maybe I need to revisit it because I know people love this movie.
It's definitely got a lot of hype.
Yeah,
ton.
I felt it was weird. There were some funny parts, but I was like, I don't know if I care for it too much. Great actors and stuff, but the whole story I didn't care for it. But the figure looks decent. The likeness is pretty good. I know there's a lot of Fight Club figures out there, and I think there is a 2-pack by somebody.
Yeah, it was a Brad Pitt 2-pack.
Yeah.
I've got that.
And Present Toys, like, they're doing a lot, but it's kind of like Thomas said with Soso, like, they're behind on everything, and I don't know how great the stuff they do comes out. I've never actually owned any of their figures. I don't think there's been some that I wanted, but also when it comes to third party, I think I'm kind of sticking to Soso, Mars for Batman stuff, and then Toys Hera. Like, I feel like they're pretty on point, you know, so I kind of stick towards those. But Present Toys does do a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. I don't hear a lot from their stuff produced, like whether it's good or not. So
Put some respect on Lim Toys, because I feel like, yes, they take a long time to release, but I don't see them, announcing figures every other week.
Is Lim Toys third party though?
They are third party.
Yeah, for sure. They
okay.
actually, speaking of which, they just on kit you can get the Arthur Morgan Gunslinger that just went back up there. They're like
Oh,
They
really?
probably.
Thanks for the heads up.
What is
Yeah.
what is some of the figures they've done other than that Arthur? Because I don't know that they do stuff that I want. I think that's why I don't really recognize them.
Did they do a
They
Joel
also
and
did,
Ellie as well?
yeah, the
Last of Us?
112 scale. That
I know
might
they do
actually
112, but they're licensed, right?
I don't.
They're doing the Nathan Drake.
Yeah, they did.
One,
Yep.
1/6.
Yeah, see, they do a bunch of. So they do like video game stuff.
I think
Yeah.
they did a Metal Gear way back, but that might have been 112.
They also do Resident Evil on 112.
Oh, okay.
And they might have done a Joel and Ellie in 1/6, like right from the game, way back. I might be wrong.
Possibly. All right. We'll just blow through this quickly. Present Toys showed a Link, which is interesting because there was another company that showed a Link. So it's like, it seems like, it says, when one company shows something, it seems like everyone has to quickly show their teaser to not lose initiative. But this is the NW Toys Link. $245 for the deluxe, $184 for the regular Q1 2024. This is based off of the current official look for Link, Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom. I think this is probably more Breath of the Wild.
No, I think it's Tears because he's got that glowy arm.
Yeah, you're correct. Let me give you a point for that.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
see here.
Yay!
Oh, I don't know.
I got 2 points. You rang it twice.
Yeah, so the deluxe comes with this glowing arm. Not quite sure how that is going to work because there is a sleeve attached to the other arm, but I'm sure it's probably just cut off there at the bicep. The portrait, I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't look right.
It's very feminine.
Which it isn't necessarily a bad thing because, I mean, he does have very soft features, but there's just something about it that I don't love. But the outfit looks excellent. I love the Sheikah slate there. I'm struggling to not want to buy this. This looks pretty good.
I feel like his eyes are really far apart and his nose and mouth are real small.
Speaking of the
so
eyes,
it makes his eyes look further apart.
Yeah, speaking of the eyes, they are also the movable eye system. So, very cool there. This is the regular edition. This is the deluxe. The deluxe, you get that mentioned right glowing hand. You also get the I guess like the place to, I haven't played the new game, so in the other one you were pulling it out of a rock, but I don't know what this is supposed to be for the Master Sword. And then you also have a Guardian diorama.
Is that a whole separate Master Sword that glows?
Not quite sure. Possibly, looks like it maybe. You also get a cloak, which is pretty cool.
I
but
think it might be, yeah. The cloak is really cool, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough Link figures out there. I love Link. He's the hero of time, right? Like, he's so fucking cool. This one, just a big miss for me. One, it's not green. Link is always canonically, wears green. So this, I know that they changed it up in the past game, and you could swap outfits in this game, which is cool. But like when in my mind's eye, I don't picture this Link. I have a little 12 scale version of this character, this version of Link, so that works for me. But I also have like other Link figures, so it's not my only Link. But if I was gonna get one in 6 scale, it wouldn't be this one. But it is cool to see Link in 6 scale.
Yeah, Dean, I'm totally with you there. Like a green version of Link, even though I'm not a super big Legend of Zelda fan, I did get a bit into Breath of the Wild. I do want to try Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, so also this figure, all the little intricate details. I love so many aspects of this, and the fact that it's another video game figure, we need more of them. So really want to encourage companies to keep giving us, especially something that comes with this many accessories. But yeah, the sculpt is a miss. Him not having a green outfit, at least an alternate outfit or another body would have been, something that's very enticing for a lot of folks. So overall, a lot of positives, but just falls short of being anything that I'd be interested in.
Can anybody see? I'm trying to see it in the scene, but it looks like he's wearing a tunic underneath that blue top. Is that green underneath it, or is that blue also?
He's wearing a tan like undershirt, then chainmail over it, and then a blue tunic over
Okay.
that. And
That
then
must be the trim on the blue I was looking at. I for some reason it looked a little bit like green underneath a white edge or something like that. So I probably was just looking at it wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the green on this one.
Okay.
Definitely, definitely with Zach. This is really tempting to want to get, and it does come with the clear blue sword. I think with the deluxe. I was looking here, so yeah. This even with it not being the classic green, it is really tempting because this is still really cool looking. And the shield, and like they did a good job on the detail of everything.
Dude, even the fucking, what are they called? The ancient arrows?
The arrows of power.
Fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah, ancient arrows, but yeah.
The Hylian shield. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here. Just remember, $10 off your Inart Superman purchase at 16kit using code CWSM. That code expires on the 28th. We'll talk about some interesting additions to our pricing comparison from last week, and that is our discussion of the week, pricing comparison 2. And we'll start with what really grinds my gears. Dean, it's been a while. It's been a while since my gears have been grinded. And specifically, Brian, Chris, and TC from the Six Scale Scavengers were like, can we bring it back? Which, if they're upset about something, I mean, they're pretty chill guys, right? So, Big Bad Toy Store gets the grinds my gears this week. Now, Big Bad Toy Store has been doing this for a few years, right? They either get figures that are recently sold out and then scalp them. They upcharge on different figures. This is a screenshot from 2019. Vader, at that time, the Rogue One, $249 was the retail on that one. They were selling them for $400, right? Brand new figures, $400 from an official retailer, which is not against policy. I did ask back then. We did talk about this on one of the very first episodes of Collecting Weekly. They've done it with P Bandai. Again, P Bandai is typically exclusive stuff, pay in full type stuff. They had the No Way Home Green Goblin up for pre-order at $224.99, which was much higher than it was the retail price for it. Fans were outraged. They adjusted that price almost instantly with all the outrage down to $164.99, which is almost like $60 difference, which is quite significant for that price point. And they're doing it again. So $8.99 for the Joker sculpted 2-pack. They also have the Superman for $559.99. And sorry, I thought I had one more screenshot here. Let me backtrack just a little bit. They also have the rooted 2-pack for $1,489.99.
They can't keep getting away with it.
Let's do two things here. We're gonna play that clip. Fuck, where's the clip at? Jesus Christ.
You can't keep getting away with it!
And Marco, we're gonna take a deep dive on the
Perfection.
So remember, these prices are without tax and shipping, and with a pretty substantial NRD. Now, Marco, you bought. I want to say you have this version, correct? The rooted 2-pack.
I do.
And I want to say these were 1,100 and change, approximately.
Yeah, just under $1,100 if I remember from 16kit.
Correct. Okay. And so, these are not hard to find. You can find them all over for about that price. To get them from Big Bad Twister, you're looking at $1,489 plus Texas 8.25% sales tax plus $4 shipping. And I'm not sure who's would be buying this, right? And that's partially why I wanted to talk about it, because I don't want our fellow collectors to get bamboozled, right? Like, yes, Big Bad Toy Store is very reputable. And yes, I think there are some advantages to ordering from a company like Big Bad Toy Store, right? But if your qualifier is you want someone US based to take care of you in the event of any issues, I mean, there are some other companies that can also get you these items in the United States at a much more reasonable price, right? Short of that, we also have companies like 1/6 Kit, the ones that we talked about last week. Let's check out those prices. We have the Gundam toys, the Sugo toys, and Pop Culture. And running down the list, Big Bad Toy Store, 600 plus for the Inart Superman. That's the $589 plus tax plus shipping. 1/6 Kit, $399, $399 if you have an influencer code, $370 from Gundam Toys, $340 from Sugo Toys, and Pop Culture. Either their shipping is adjusting or the conversion rate is adjusting, but it was $327 when we ran it last show. And Safewell is saying someone did buy that and it sold out, but it seems to be back in stock. So, yeah, I just don't know. You know, specifically for the Inart, it is so new. You could perhaps make the argument like, well, maybe the Joker might be harder to find, but I don't think that's particularly the case. But with the Inart Superman being so new, I got to imagine there's some collector, right? We hear it every day, Marco, that collectors get, they see an ad for Toys Wonderland. They have no clue. They spend a crazy amount of money for a figure. There's got to be some collector out there that's, you know, isn't aware that you can get these cheaper and sees it and gets really excited. And like Ben says here, it's an example for new collectors to do your homework and make research before you make a purchase. And I have,
not even new collectors, existing collectors, like Fern has been bamboozled many times. It just happens when you don't do your homework.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just, you know, if it was $50, I could have gone real deep onto that one. But, you know, if it was $50, you know, $60, you know, $100, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal. But I mean, you can almost buy two of these things, right, for the price. And I don't want fellow collectors to get taken advantage of. I feel like a lot of people aren't. I guess it seems like it's really not a big deal to me. It's kind of shocking, right? Like, one, these aren't licensed for us, right? They're buying them and then essentially importing them, which, to be fair, they've done before with P Bandai stuff, but it's just such a huge markup, right? A huge NRD, a huge markup. It's like you're taking just a huge risk, I guess, you know, with a 224 NRD. Just seems wild. Just seems totally wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they order it, because like you said, it's not licensed for us, so they're going through a reseller, I guess. So they're taking all the risk. But even at that, it's like, does that justify charging double? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, and Dean, we've seen a lot of these when we talk about risk, right? Like with P Bandai, I could almost make the argument, right? P Bandai is 100% pay in front. You know, you pay, you order and you pay. If it's a $100 figure, you pay that up front. Right. And I could maybe, and we've talked about this in the past, right? Like, is it justified privately? And I've always said, well, I mean, they're fronting thousands of dollars to order these things, you know, 100% cost per. It's not like, you know, they're getting a discount.
Right.
But with this, you know, all these places that we've looked at, the NRDs are not 100%. None of them were. One was as low as, like, I think it was $6. Right, so you're not paying a tremendous amount of money to secure the stock. I just don't understand what the risk is. And I want to quickly clarify, it was 56 NRD for the Superman. The higher NRD, the 223, was for the Joker Deluxe 2-pack.
Yeah.
Marco, what do you think about this?
I think for Big Bad Toy Store, it's a bad look because people don't generally like scalpers, right? Like, I think that there's a lot of negativity when it comes to collectors and scalpers. Even though, you know, I've always been of the opinion, if you buy it, it's up to you if you want to sell it, if you want to burn it, whatever you want to do with it, that's fine. If you're making money to finance your collection, I don't see an issue with that. But to have someone of Big Bad Toy Store's stature seeming like they're making a few $100 per each of these figures off of collectors that I'm sure are loyal. If you're going to Big Bad Toy Store, they've got, you know, quite the following. Their $4 shipping is popular. It just kind of dilutes their brand overall. So I just think it's just, they could be doing a solid and being like, okay, we're going to mark it up a little bit because it's an import. But to do it to this extent is just kind of gross because it's coming from them. If it was on eBay, fine, whatever. But I just, yeah, it's just not great. Whoever is doing this in their company should be advised against it. But if these things are actually selling, then I guess they're selling. So it just turns me off from wanting to use them because of all this.
Margaret, you put that so fucking elegantly. That was,
my man.
I feel like you said it in such a way that I gotta give you props. That was pretty fucking good. I was trying to get there, but I couldn't round that corner. Yeah, it's yucky. It's absolutely yucky. Trumbull says, I saw Optical do a video addressing BBTS price for Inart Soups. I like the dude, but couldn't defend totally the logic he expressed. Trumbull, let me know what his take was. I haven't seen his video. And I will say, I purchased from Big Bad Toy Store. I just canceled an order unrelated to this, but I mean, I've been a customer of them for years. They've never done me wrong. I've had one issue with something I ordered from them. They fixed it right up. They paid for me to ship it back. They shipped me a new one at no cost. They're a very good company, but I think good companies can do bad things, and also bad companies can do good things, right? So those two aren't mutually exclusive. Badfish, what do you think about this?
So I'm not as heavy of a Big Bad Toy shopper because I don't get that $4 shipping here in Canada, obviously. So, but I can see that there'd be people who this is their store that they probably do 95% of their shopping, and maybe don't even look anywhere else. And this is where, okay, I'm gonna pre-order or buy my Hot Toys and everything. I would hope that most people do a bit of research on that though beforehand, but otherwise they seem to only do this on things that are not like you said with the P Bandai. I think they had really jacked up the price on the what the heck was it, the Ecto one. I don't know if that was licensed here though or not, is my question there. But it seems like anything that's actually licensed here, you get pretty good deals. You can, with regards to pre-ordering prices and whatnot, they don't seem to jack up things too much for that. But there's these outliers where they seem to do that with some of these ones, like the Vader and stuff like that. There's those are licensed here, but yeah, it's those ones that they find they know are popular. They definitely take advantage, I would say, is unfortunately what they do in a lot of cases. And from a big company, you don't usually think you would see that.
Yeah, I'm not as passionate on the, I guess, morality of it, if that's the right word. Like, I don't care what they price their stuff at, because I know where, well, at least I know for the most part where I can get it for a better deal. This one did have some deals that I was not aware of, so I ended up spending a little more. Too. Yeah. This is a lot though. I would think people that are ordering Inart would, like, I don't think most people would just stumble into this and that's how they found the Inart Superman. So I don't know how many people are actually going to get it for that price, or how many people will like get screwed into that deal. But I'm always of the like opinion where, I mean, you could sell it at whatever price you want, I guess. It doesn't mean it'll actually sell, and if someone buys it, then that's on them, I guess. I don't know. But I use Big Bad Toy Store a lot. Me and Dean mentioned this on the last show or something, that we like to pre-order from there because you could just order it without an NRD. Like some of the more expensive stuff like this they do charge an NRD. But I like their pile of loot system. I like the $4 shipping. But they can, with certain things, charge a little more. Especially like with statues too. You can see that they put a little bit of that shipping price in their overall
you're not really
price.
Paying just $4 for that.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, it's in there. So
you're doing that.
Yeah,
with Hot
I don't
Toys
go to them
for a
for
while
the
now,
expensive stuff. I would go
That's
there
correct
for
with you.
more of the cheaper 112, or maybe you can get some deals on 1.6. They used to have a lot of good deals on 1.6 back in the day, but I feel like they haven't had that much deals lately. So yeah.
There we go. Thomas, what do we think?
Can they have this? Sorry. Can they sell this? Aren't they a US based?
That's the okay. First off, Eddie, I'm glad you brought that up, and Thomas, I will get to you in just 2 seconds. Now, I speculate a lot, and I know I shouldn't. And I know after last show, some people had messaged me and said that some of the things I said about some retailers weren't quite accurate. I think it was Spec in particular. Some of my assumptions on how they operated weren't accurate, but that's neither here nor there. Big Bad Toy Store, I'm almost 100% certain, is a recipient of Sideshow's distribution, so they get their Hot Toys from Sideshow, from what I've heard.
Yeah, definitely.
And so for them to sell it, it's interesting. Now, again, they do carry P Bandai stuff. P Bandai stuff isn't necessarily licensed for the United States. They do ship to the US though. But with this in particular, Inart, they're buying direct from Bandai or P Bandai and having them shipped to their and the benefit is, you might pay a small deposit, $9, but you're not paying $100 right then and there when they drop them randomly, and they drop them in very short windows. Now, like Alvin's saying, that this is a way to provide service for those who are out of the market. And One Six Shooter saying they can't import at wholesale, but I think they can resell it. It's a really weird thing though, because I feel like more companies would be doing that. But yeah, they've done things like this for a while. It's just never to this extent.
It is interesting though, because
BBTS
that stuff
might
that you're
swing-
mentioning isn't Sideshow related stuff either. Like Sideshow's not, like the SHF stuff isn't going to get Sideshow's attention for the most part.
Yeah, but this might peak, and I mentioned it last
Yeah,
week.
but BBTS might swing a big enough stick that Sideshow just lets them do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, if a mom and pop try to do this, it might be a bit more significant than.
I don't know that Sideshow lets anybody do what they want. I feel like they're that company that like they like to let everybody know their stick is bigger.
Make you an offer you can't refuse.
I don't know, they're kind of tough.
I guarantee that BBTS makes more money than Sideshow.
Yeah, you think so?
Wow. I know so.
I don't know if I guarantee.
BBTS one
God
sells
damn.
way more stuff, way more scales, all
What was
kinds
their
of
PPP
shit.
loan, Marco?
Yeah, I was gonna say these. I think we could find this information. You guarantee? What are you putting on it?
On a show amongst friends, nothing, Marco.
Very.
I thought we were best friends.
One PP touch. One
over the pants. Thomas, go ahead and take a crack at this.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole lot of money. I mean, I would have thought that this would be a rooted version, because as opposed to a sculpted head with maybe just a swirl of rooted hair. But yeah, I mean that's a whole lot of money, and I mean I can guarantee that if I took my wallet out and spent my money and spent close to $600, not before taxes and shipping, my wallet would literally never speak to me again.
Wow.
I mean it would never forgive me for a purchase like that. And I mean if I were doing this, I would be thinking that I was buying off eBay, because those are what people on eBay would do. They would charge that much. But I wouldn't think that a retailer would do that. Now, the only thing I can think that might justify it would be if they had to purchase it at retail. I know they're trying to make a profit, but man, that's a whole lot of profit. I mean, that's what, $150 more than
almost. Yeah. So looking at the slide here, $327 was the lowest we could get it at, and you're talking $600. Yeah,
So when BBTS orders, are they? I mean, I'm assuming they're paying full retail for it, right?
They have to be.
You would assume. I mean, Big Bad Toy Stores go into pop culture and say, "Hey, we want to buy, 3 dozen of these." They might get a little extra discount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just speculation, though. Let me read some of these comments, because these were great. Back to back. Go ahead, Eddie.
Isn't on Big Bad, can't you just click like how many you're going to put into your cart to figure out how much they have available?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, can we do that with Superman real quick? Trembled says if Super was being offered for like $400, maybe $450, I could see the point. But $600 before tax and shipping, no. Cuervo said it's up to the consumer to do the research. Equan says the real question is where is the zombie Iron Man versus Inart Superman comparison? Sean Forrester says it seems BBTS does this with secondary and international stuff. Not sure if they're buying close to retail. The folks need to price shop basically. And 16 Shooter says as much as I hate this and I think it looks bad, if it's something that you can't find or don't trust eBay sellers, then I can't blame them if it sells. Yeah, there's certainly a lot to consider, right? It's my understanding though, if you're in the US, it's not as easy as like if I have an issue, I don't like if I bought it at, I don't want to speculate this openly, but I think you do have to go back to the original retailer that purchased it from Inart. So if you bought it from person A, that person's gonna have to go to that retailer to go to Inart. You can't just, we're not in their licensed region, so we, even if you get the little card with the figure, you can't just mail that in yourself.
I'm able to put 24 in my cart, so they have a lot of them.
God damn. Tremble just says, quick Google search, Sideshow estimated annual revenue is 56 million, while BBTS is 9 million. That's shocking. But I would say if the average Sideshow figure is like 200 and change,
that's what I was
and the
thinking.
average BBTS figure is like what, probably $20, $30 and change.
Yeah.
That
I just
could
figured
be.
like the volume would be much greater.
I just think
Well,
Thank you, Marco.
Give Marco a blowjob. So
How much have you given Sideshow and how much have you given BBTS over the years is a good question, just even on your own.
Yeah, just a lot.
Probably more than Sideshow.
What's up, little Titan?
Little Titan.
They
I
have
like this
a
little
Little
avatar.
Titan.
They have the Inart.
What's my
the
nickname?
2-pack
Jesus.
Joker for close to 1,500 too. That's not
Yeah,
as
we mentioned
overdrawn as
It's about $300.
Very quickly, I think these will sit around once the cutoff ends. Was it the end of the month for Superman?
I don't think they've even given us a cutoff. I don't think there is one.
I thought it was
Not that I
either way.
could find.
Let's say it is the end of the month. Then these will start to
Kit
sell.
gave a cutoff, I think, but I don't know that Inart did.
Yeah. Well, there's always these windows. One thing also for Akuma, I didn't see a window either. I read the whole page, and perhaps I missed it, but I don't believe that there was. Let's move on here. Excellent discussion, gentlemen. Some great points all around. Best Buy is confirming that it's ending sales on physical movies, TV shows in 2024 in-store and online. It will continue to sell video games. To state the obvious, the way we watch movies and TV shows is much different today than it was decades ago. Making this change gives us more space and opportunity to bring consumers new and innovative tech for them to explore, discover, and enjoy. That's a statement from Best Buy. It's been a few years since I've been to a Best Buy, but boy, that physical media section, excluding video games, is very small. Even before this, last I was in there was probably 2 years ago during COVID, and back then it was small, and it was even smaller
it was like
now.
3 rows maybe.
Yeah, and usually there's just that one little. I mean, it's almost like a 3 foot by 2 foot where they have the the releases of the week, the steelbook or whatever. In a way, like now I'm a big fan of digital. In fact, most of my film collection is digital, for better or for worse. But I think I respect the argument, right, of like why physical is better, right? You own it. You don't have to pay a fee to access it. You do not have to worry about the content ever being changed, right? If that's something that you care about. Case in point, Dean, you own the DVD with the original theatrical cut of the Star Wars films, regardless of what Disney or Lucas deems appropriate or politically correct or what changes they may or may not want to make. You can still at any point pop in that DVD and watch it as you purchased it, right? For as long as the DVD works. And there's been times it's only happened, I think, once to me on iTunes, but it has happened. I think it's happened. That's one too many times where I've had an album that I've purchased no longer available for download, right? It was actually 2 albums by the same artist. But again, I feel like that's 2 times too many. So there are benefits.
The R. Kelly stuff down?
Who was it?
No,
Who hurt you, Zach?
It was a radio station that they did a lot of kind of like what we do, right? Like they record live and then they put it in a podcast form. But one holiday season they did a best of compilation for the year. and both of those albums got deleted. It's weird, but yeah. To these points, though, there's some good points here. Trumbull says he got rid of physical media a long time ago. It took too much space for me, but I wanted to have physical copies. I get wanting to have physical copies, rather. Sean Forrester says, I tossed out some floppy disks this summer. There's no actual hard drives available to read it. And of course, when you look at VHS, right, it's very difficult these days to find a working VHS that will not damage your tapes. It can be done, but it can be quite expensive. Even DVDs. I had to burn a DVD the other day just for a whatever, but to find the ability to burn a DVD, I used to be able to do it a lot in 2006 very easily. My computer had the built-in disc burner thing. But boy, to be able to do that in 2023, that's a toughie. That is an absolute toughie.
Just get a USB DVD drive.
Yeah, that's how I had to do it. But the two that I purchased didn't work, and it was the third one that finally worked. Yeah, so I don't know. Is this a big deal? Is this not a big deal? What do you guys think?
I think it's only a big deal because it's like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all those things. Like, it sucks that you won't be able to go into Best Buy and pick up your steelbooks anymore. And, you know, if you wanted to go in store and pick stuff up, like the further we get in the future, like all of that the stuff that we used to do as kids is no longer alive, and like, you don't do that stuff anymore. So, I mean, you're still gonna be able to collect stuff. It's just they'll probably end up doing steelbooks through Amazon now or stuff like that. So, it's cool. It's cool that it won't go away, but it sucks that everything kind of in-person stuff is ending, and we're going even more and more online, which kind of sucks. That's the only thing that sucks about it for me.
Ben Thomas show is saying, "Oh, go ahead, Zach."
Yeah, Ben is saying, I think if they're going to kill physical media, there needs to be an available data bank for history's sake of films and TV that streamers are done paying for on their services. Now, there is a thing, but not every piece of media gets archived into it. The U.S. Library of Congress, they select certain films for historical preservation due to their significance or cultural impact. Fun fact, Star Wars has had an open invitation to add the original trilogy to that archive, but it has not ever been added because it needs to be in the original way that the film was released. And of course, you know, they're adding all this fucking Rocks by R2 and all this other janky shit. But it's a very refined catalog, but yeah, there's not like a every movie ever made archive that I know of. Sorry, Marco.
No, I was just going to read Ben's comment, but to me, this is a really big deal. I'm a big physical media person, and a lot of the times that's the case because I can just get it cheaper because there's competition with the digital, with the physical versus, you know, various stores carrying them, having to unload stock on Black Friday. I can get really good deals on physical. So that's, you know, normally around the time when I stock up on a bunch of stuff, either video games or movies that I had been waiting on throughout the year. But the last time I was in a Best Buy, I think, was to pick up the Batman Steelbook from them. So now I really see very little reason to go to Best Buy. I'm already, you know, not my favorite company for sure, just because they have occasional deals, but they're not super competitive with a lot of the other stores from my examination. And, you know, beyond just picking up PlayStation 5s for friends and family through them, I'm pretty much going to be done with Best Buy once they eventually stop selling physical video games. So it is sad. Like Eddie said, it, you know, taps into our childhood and the fact that things are going fully digital. I do like the convenience of digital, but there's nothing like the audio or video quality of a physical. I do try to upgrade to my 4K Blu-rays of like my favorite films. Again, on Black Friday when they're like under $10 is the time to do it. So yeah, I'll continue to collect physical media, but it's going to be rarer and rarer, and I think deals are going to start to evaporate a little bit, which makes me sad.
Yeah, I think Marco made a good point about the quality you get physically, because Disney Plus or whoever, they could say, oh, we have 4K streaming, but it's not really 4K. It's got to be compressed to make it all the way to you over the internet waves. I don't know how the fucking internet works, guys, but
algorithms.
It gets compressed. It's not true
ones
4K.
and zeros.
Yeah, all the ones and zeros compress the shit out of your video, and it might look really beautiful, but it's not really true 4K. It'd be like watching a 4K DVD on like a fucking 720 TV. It's gonna look good, but it's not, as good as it can be. So until the technology catches up with that, I don't know how long that will take, or if it's even possible. I don't know. But for someone who like really cares about that kind of stuff, that is a big deal. And yeah, I just like to own the thing I paid for. I think it's horseshit that if I want to watch The Mandalorian season 1 or 2, I gotta fucking pay Disney to watch it. Now I think they are coming out with physical copies of those shows, which is nice, but not all of them. They haven't done any of the Marvel shows, I don't think. Which
Loki,
I don't want to buy any of them, but
released.
Yeah, nobody wants to
I
own
might buy
any
the
of those.
Loki show.
Dean's like, I'm about to go buy She-Hulk.
Yeah. But it's like, unless Disney decides to let you buy it, you're kind of under their thumb on what you can and can't watch when and when you want to watch it.
Yeah, especially with costs going up, right? Like if you pay a one-time, I don't know what the fuck Blu-rays cost, $30 to buy The Mandalorian, versus, if that's the only thing you watch, which for a while for me, that was all I watched on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I think it's like $12 a month if you buy it monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and this is just Best Buy, right? You can still go to Walmart Tuesday mornings. They put out the new movies. But I mean, if it's Best Buy today, who knows who it's going to be tomorrow? And it's not, I know we always pick on Disney. It's not just Disney. It's like if I want to watch Parks and Rec, if I don't own it on DVD or Blu-ray, now I got to pay fucking Peacock, who knows how much, per month just to watch the show whenever I want to watch it. Or Netflix. Netflix did release Stranger Things, but they don't release all their shows. They got good shows. They have Sonic Prime on there. I might want to buy that one day. They might not ever put that on Blu-ray. I don't know. So it kind of sucks.
They've got a great documentary on there called Midnight Mass. Check it out, Zach.
Here we go again with them.
With the Midnight Mass. He sent me this clip with like very little context, and I'm like, this bitch is reading a script. And apparently I was an idiot for saying that. How dare you?
Well, he only said it was a show, and then you're like,
he did.
is this scripted?
Well, a show, there could be a show that's like this is a show. We're real fucking people with no script, you fucking guy.
There's a show. That's a show. Seinfeld
Fucking
fans. But does digital have special features? That's something
Yes,
you're gonna miss.
it does.
Oh, they do.
Depending,
Okay, well
not all of them. Like some of the Lord of the Rings, like I own the Blu-rays of the extended editions. I think they're much long, like they're more content on the discs. But some of them do have special features.
I'm not a huge I'm not a big person that like watches special features and watches the commentaries and stuff, but there's one out there for Tropic Thunder. They did commentary with the director, and it's Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., and one more from the movie, I think. And Robert Downey Jr. does it in his character voice.
Oh God!
So if like I don't watch a lot of that stuff, but if you own Tropic Thunder on DVD, watch that commentary. It makes that movie so much funnier.
When Multiverse Tony Stark comes back and it's that character,
yeah,
it'd be hilarious.
Oh my Jesus! What if?
Oh my
what if
he's
Tony Stark was?
He's War Machine now.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
They're not good. Who said
You know what would have been fucking.
Who said that?
You know what would have been even.
Time out. Who said that?
I said that.
That was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever said.
But what's even funnier is instead of bringing Terrence Howard back for a third time, they just made Robert Downey Jr. War Machine. You fucking hate to see it.
Yeah, you had me at the beginning, and then you lost me in the second half. But
Wow.
oh, that was good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Dean though on Marco was the physical quality.
Well, I said it too.
You can see it.
Marco wasn't.
I agree with you,
This
and Dean and Marco. But okay, Zach. I know you need your.
What the fuck?
When someone compliments Dean, you have to compliment Zach.
You come at the king. Don't fucking miss, Badfish.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I had to compliment Marco. I had to compliment Dean. So yeah, the physical copies, you definitely get that. But there's a lot of stuff that I could definitely be okay with just having digital. There's certain series or like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, etc. Those are ones like, okay, I want a physical copy of that. But there's a lot of stuff in between there. Don't necessarily need a physical copy of.
There we go. I wanted to press that "what did he say" when Eddie made that joke, but everyone was laughing so hard. I felt like it needed to just have a laugh.
Yeah.
Thomas, what are we thinking?
We appreciate that.
Well, what about the Best Buy? I don't know. I like having some physical media, but the problem that I have with it is that with some of the physical media that I have, sometimes I forget I have it, and then I just wind up watching it when it's on television. Now I do like watching the Blu-rays and stuff like that, because you can get like deleted clips and extended endings and things like that. Those are kind of worth it. So I do still purchase occasionally if it's something that I really, really like, or if it's like a movie or a series that's very difficult to find, and maybe they're not streaming it on a regular basis, or streaming it at all in some cases. So I do like having the physical media, but if Best Buy's not doing it, I don't know. I guess I usually buy most of my stuff off of Amazon anyhow. So if Amazon shuts it down, then I might have a problem then. But yeah, I'm not really tripping over Best Buy, because I can't remember the last time that I've been to Best Buy. I mean, when I first saw that, I was like, Best Buy still has physical locations, and I remember what they do.
My fridge.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
And my washer and dryer.
Okay.
Money. Let's see here. Our movie of the week was Mandy. I know we kind of have a little bit of a mixed panel. We had to call him the Bannerman. Let's see here. In the Pacific Northwest in 1983, outsiders Red Miller and Mandy Bloom lead a loving and peaceful existence when their pine-scented haven is savagely destroyed by a cult led by the sadistic Jeremiah Sand. Red is catapulted into a phantasmagoric journey filled with bloody vengeance and laced with deadly fire. Dean has really enjoyed this movie for a number of years. In fact, this movie is 2018, and Dean, I think you watched it when it first came out. I don't remember if it was in the theaters or if you had just streamed it. I don't recall, but I remember you were going on about this movie, and for years you had tried to get us to watch it. Finally we have. I'll be honest, like, I think the performances in this film are well done. Everyone's fairly believable. I really like the use of color. The reds, it's very vibrant. It almost reminds me of like Blade Runner, like the colors in this film. I don't know though. I think there's, kind of it's kind of fucked up, but like this whole movie revolves around this one guy seeing this one woman one time and just instantly like setting the whole plot in motion. And this woman is very average. Like, it's kind of like with The Big Short. Like, I didn't understand the main concept of The Big Short, and the rest of the movie was hard for me to follow. But this woman just, you see this woman passing by, I don't know, you go and pay a demonic motorcycle gang to kill her, and I kind of struggled with that. But it was okay. I think for me, I was expecting this to be so good, because for years Dean has always talked about this movie as being, pretty good. I don't know. I didn't love it. I liked it. I was very impressed though with the acting. I feel like Nicolas Cage has had a little bit of a upward revitalization of his career, and I feel like this movie was kind of around that point where, he kind of had been doing a bunch of movies to get out of debt, but I think his performance in this film is very solid. The action was okay. I just watched Peaky Blinders, and Charlie Strong is one of the actor that plays Charlie Strong from that Peaky Blinders was in this film as well, and it kind of made me
Also,
smile
the guy
to
from The
see him.
Mandalorian,
Which guy?
the Imperial officer that Bill Burr kills. He's the chemist that sets the tiger free.
Oh, Richard Brake. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't recognize that guy. Okay. But Dean, so you've seen this movie years. You were one of the first that I've ever known to have seen this movie.
Yeah, so this movie is very the plot of this movie is very simple. It's a revenge story. And at its core, it's about one, revenge, but two, the male ego. So on one hand, you have this weird fucking cult leader who believes that God has anointed him and he can have anything he wants simply because he wants it. And that's why he goes for Mandy. And then on the flip side of that coin, when she's taken away from Red, Nick Cage, his ego is revenge. I'm going to get revenge at all costs. Whereas this guy's, I'm going to get Mandy at all costs. So,
they even tell him like the odds of survival are like not in your favor. Like
right. But he's like, I don't give a shit because this is going to happen. So they're kind of, like I said, the same coin, but different sides. So this movie is fucking metal. Every fucking scene of this movie, whether it's slow, like the vibe that it sets up, everything is shown to you on purpose. Like when Mandy's walking through the forest and she sees the dead doe, right? It's showing you the death of something innocent, right? Mandy is just fucking minding her own business, working at a convenience store in the middle of the woods with her lumberjack husband.
Reading a book.
And she gets fucking abducted by these crazy LSD drug-ridden lunatics and this weird cult. And then there's the scene where Nick Cage and her are on the lake and she comes out of the water and he stares at her through the fire, right? Which is showing you what's going to happen further down in the movie, right? It's a little foreshadowing. And then when the shit finally hits the fan, Nick Cage, I think there's some movies where Nick Cage just shines because he's so like animated and like kind of a weird guy. Like this was perfect. Like the scene with him in the bathroom and he's just fucking losing it after what happens to Mandy happens. And you kind of see him go through these stages of grief and then at the very end just like determination of fucking revenge. And then he gets his gear together, he kills a couple people, and then that's when the title card drops. Like an hour and a half into the movie is when you get the title card, and like that's kind of when the movie fucking kicks off. Like from then on, it's just fucking metal, dude. Like every scene after that is fucking awesome. I could definitely see why it's not someone's cup of tea, but I loved it. And it's very kind of, it's set in 83, I believe, 82. And it's got that vibe to it, that kind of heavy metal, like the cartoon vibe, those like fantasy, like wizard paintings and Dungeons and Dragons. Like there's a few title cards of like where they're at or who is on screen. And it's just so cool. It's such a good movie. I love it. It's so creepy too. Like it's unsettling. The scene with where they drug Mandy, it's so creepy. Oh, I love it. It's such a vibe. This movie's great. If you haven't watched it, guys, go watch it.
So Lucifer says, if Dean likes it, then it's probably good. I would flip that and say, if it's good, Dean probably doesn't like it. But in this instance, Dean, this is a great pick. This is the type of stuff that we need more of. You know, I like the weird shit. Like this is incredibly weird. The cinematography is incredible. Kind of reminded me of like a David Lynch type film where it's just like surreal. It's just trippy as hell. Yeah, Nicolas Cage, this is definitely one of my favorite performances of his. Not a huge Nicolas Cage guy, but like I mentioned, Face Off, I love him in that because he's just so unhinged.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, just everything about this, from the cinematography to the tone. Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this. And yeah, a really solid pick, Dean, which I don't say very often, but good job.
Wow. Let's see here. Thomas, I know that you were a very last minute addition, but have you seen this film?
No, I haven't, but it sounds really interesting. I mean, just from the cover, I mean, at the I like the saturated colors and everything at the movies like that. I really like movies that kind of have that kind of stimulation, visual stimulation. So if the movie kind of has that kind of feel, I would definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
It's streaming free on Tubi, and there was a couple other places, but yeah, it's on Tubi.
Mandy. Okay.
Let me see here real quick. So, this one has a 90% Rotten Tomatoes, which is quite impressive. Let's see. Our next movie, Badfish, you haven't seen this movie, have you?
No, I did not. I want to watch it though. If I had known ahead, obviously I would have definitely watched it. But,
just watch the
I'm
trailer.
interested.
You get a good vibe of the movie. Did Eddie get to watch it?
Yeah, I don't think he was able to finish it.
I almost convinced my wife to watch the next one. We ended up watching something
Hereditary?
else. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Watch
talk
anything else but
Hereditary.
that.
We'll watch Hereditary this week coming up and give our thoughts on it next week. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We have Renfield the following week and Fantastic Mr. Fox the following week. Still not quite sure what we're going to do for a Halloween night. I'll probably be trick-or-treating with Vivi that night. So it's going to be a little up in the air as to...
Is that a Tuesday?
Yeah, the 31st is a Tuesday. So we'll figure out how we're going to do that. We may have to film that on a Monday and just backdate it. But Dean, we have a bunch of angels that keep this empire going.
Yeah, give a quick shout out to Ian CB, Renee Mendez, here's Kevin, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerino, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminators, Rob Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Skins, Figs, Billy Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Sweet Danny Lee, Dee Dee Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Old Fern. Oh, we just got a super chat from the lovely Patreon Paul Schreiber. Right as I said his name, I think.
Ooh.
Wow, that's magical, Paul. What a magic man.
Let me restart here. Stephen Crett, Big Old Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Richter Gregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Irwin Azucena, the illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukothri Wa, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Alvin J, Aurelis Delgado, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC, 3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of angels.
Bunch of angels, especially this angel here, Paul. Thank you for the super chat. We very much appreciate it. September, October, we have the CW 3000 sticker and the CW Halloween sticker. These will be backed on orange for the CW Halloween sticker and Starfield background for the 3000 sticker. So really excited to... I want to read that comment here. So really excited for you guys to get those in hand. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the digital tier, $7.50 for the physical benefits, $15 for the certified crispy certificate, and $25 for the Figure Fix assistance tier. Taking a look at our YouTube channel members, those guys are also very important. We have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dark Smizzle, Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Good Old Spotchka, Gotham Cenobites, Justin Sports Card, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Mike Litteris, Money Mendez, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 1/6 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Sam Giss, Scarn Lord, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Russ, the Ben Thomas Show, and Toy Mafia. Let me star this comment so I can get to it here in a second. Membership starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member. You get loyalty badges and custom chat emojis, or $2.99 if you are not for the Peanut Gallery tier. TeePublic, there's a sale going on last week. I'm not quite sure if it's going on this week, but we got some good stuff there. We also have our network here. We had live unboxing yesterday on Monday, Question of the Week on Sunday. OxPD we played last week. This week is OFAC on Thursday. After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Lots of Trials and Tribulations to talk about then. And Live and Let Dice we just played on Saturday. We're still figuring out when we're going to play for the end of the month because I have some family coming in for the 28th, so not quite sure how that's going to work. So stay tuned for that. We'll make sure to take care of you guys, though, as per usual. Yeah, shout-out time. Shout-out to Badfish and Thomas. Thomas, your first time on the main show. We appreciate you coming on. We were a little light to begin with Ben out, and appreciate you guys stepping in. Looks like Badfish got a haircut, so it's looking spick and spin.
Yeah, it was getting way too long. It was just getting annoying.
Why did that sound racist, what he just said?
Wait, which part?
Spick and spin?
Yeah, what is spick and spin?
I'm like 100% Irish, I'm pretty sure, so I'm good on it. But
is that a slur against the Irish?
It's a slur against Mexicans.
So.
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
That's where I knew where he was leaning.
I think
that's a real phrase though. Spick and span.
Spick and span.
Spick and span. Yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
Spick and
Spick
spin.
and spin.
Oh, well,
So you changed it.
he's not a Mexican, so it doesn't matter.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah, shout out to you guys. Thomas, first time on the main show. What'd you think?
It was fun. Had a good time. I appreciate you having me on. So yeah, I'm glad I could fill in, and we'll be looking forward to getting Ben back, of course.
Yeah.
Will we though?
Yeah, no. I've had COVID officially once, though I feel twice, and it is no fun. So Ben, I know that he said that he was on death's door. I'm sure he was kidding, but if you are that sick, lots of prayers your way, and if you're not, then don't fucking lie about it, all right?
Get better soon, buddy.
Yeah, definitely get better. Let's see here. Any more shout-outs?
Oh, you wanted to talk about that comment from that you highlighted.
Oh, thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Musashi, shout out to Rainer because he was so informative with me about Lego. I got my very first UCS Millennium Falcon in the mail today. Thank you, dude. What a good guy.
I'm jealous.
I've always wanted a UCS Falcon, but I have the Legacy scale Falcon, and I'm like, I don't need to.
Dean, that's exactly
I
how I
agree
feel.
with that.
Shout out to my wife. She painted this year one Batman head for me. Dean, 3D printing is the equivalent of fucking alchemy. We were playing D&D, and I was like, hey, I wonder if there is a Batman head sculpt. Because I like this figure a lot. It's a Sideshow classic Iron Man Batman. Don't like the portrait, though. Don't like the head sculpt. Found a portrait, downloaded the file, supported it. We had our 2-hour mark. We take like a little 5-10 minute break. Loaded it up. By the time the show was done, it was done. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I've said it 100 times. If you're in the collecting hobby, a 3D printer is invaluable.
I've got no skills though. If I had a wife that could paint like that,
he has no eagle powers.
Yeah, but you could send
Give
them
me
off
no nutrients.
to someone to paint them.
Yeah, it just depends on how long it takes them to get primer, right, Dean?
Yeah,
Jesus
like Ian and Darkside Customs. I think he still takes commissions.
He's even slower than Zach.
You gotta ship him.
How dare you? How dare you?
Oh, that's where it was 2 days ago. Nice.
You think all I do?
We played.
You think all I do is work on your stuff, Dean?
Well, I don't know. Your Batman was done in a day and a half. So
yeah, because it's my Batman.
It's funny how my Black Panther base is nowhere close to being done.
Okay, that's your fault, though. That's your fault. At OxCon, I kept showing it to you, and you couldn't be fucking bothered. You were too busy tiptoeing around.
No, I was showing it off to everyone. Everyone was drooling over it.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I told you. I was like, let's fucking pick the color, and then I still have no color.
Well, at least he's sticking to the true to the name of Zach's Wonderland, right? There's always problems.
Yeah. Did you tip?
Oh,
that's the thing. Did you tip?
How dare you,
bad tip? How fucking dare you?
Zach's
Anyways,
Wonderland, you wonder where your stuff is.
Yeah, you fucking guy. Get him out of here.
deserves a point.
Everyone that laughed is out of this show forever. Just me now. How fucking dare all of you?
It was
just
more
for
of a
that,
chuckle, but
just for that, Dean, you're on your own, bro. I'm just kidding.
What?
Okay, do you want to know the real reason why it's taking a long
Dean
time?
looks extra
Victoria
tan
wants
right
to
now.
paint this,
Yay!
so because of that, it's gonna take a while.
I can't wait.
So
I
now
got
he's
her whole-
blaming someone else. Jesus.
Look, I
Right?
got-
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly like Toys Wonderland.
I
I
got
learned,
her
a, lot
outfit.
from, I learned a lot
stock.
from Philip from Toys Wonderland. Okay.
I got her outfit ready to go. Got new stuff in the mail. I'm so excited.
Wow. Well, I guess I should finish soon then, shouldn't I?
It'd be nice.
Probably Christmas, I think, is a good bet. I think.
Gabagool.
Well, just because I said it before, like we gave you this really nice portrait, and then it got destroyed. So it's like
Okay,
I want
that wasn't my fault.
Okay, so now you're blaming an innocent dog, innocent puppy.
Zach just
No, I'm
doesn't
not
know when to
blaming Kevin.
finish. That's the problem.
It's true.
That's not what your mom.
I was just saying it's a freak accident. It's no one's fault.
wow, dude, you can't.
You're the one that started mom jokes.
He's the one saying that.
How dare you?
But he's Canadian, man.
For the
I'm like a wounded animal. I'm backed into a corner,
His mom, you can't fuck with
just
his
like your mom.
What did he say?
Jesus, man.
ZW abandoned ship. From
How dare you, Erwin?
Oh man, it feels like
It's
we're
the
going
slow
after dark
dive.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After dark. Oh gosh, that's
If you
so
guys
funny.
think of any other good Zach Wonderland jokes, just send them in on the Ox Facebook there.
Okay, you fucking
nice.
guy. Anyways, Tremble Dust, what does this say? As long as death has been around not to pick up English, sad, SMH. I don't know what that means. Oh, not convinced death speaks English. Wow.
Everybody speaks Latin or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm Zach.
Dean?
Badfish.
Thomas. Oh,
Jesus.
You're good, Thomas.
Good.
I'm Eddie.
There's one left.
Thomas.
I didn't know who was. I was letting everybody go first since I was late. So
That's what your mom said. Just
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to figure out why my mom would say that. Jesus.
Because nice guys.
So now my mom's a guy. She finished.
I'm a guy.
I don't get this whole joke.
I don't know. I
She,
just
she was late because she was pregnant with you.
what? No, I'm a time traveler.
No, never mind. It's a period joke.